It's going to be a very slow, gradual return to office. Uh, Employee health and safety are of paramount concern, and that is the number one priority of all companies today. So it will be a very slow, in my view, and these are my personal views, as I say. I think it will be a very slow and gradual uh, coming back to office and working. Companies will be careful about the employee health, safety, etc. And people who are working from home, in my personal view, we need not hurry to bring them to office. There's no burning desire or need to have people work from office. So in my view, it's going to be by the end of this year, probably, we'll start getting back to normalcy, I guess. And you've seen the flights open up, one third of the flights. So I think most of the services will be gradual back to normalcy, and it will be a new normal. Mankind hasn't seen such a pandemic in modern history, at least. The last was the Spanish flu in 1919, etc. And every event like this has a learning. Right? So there's a lot of learnings out of this event, and working from home, frankly, has become the new norm. And we read a lot about it, how companies are now thinking about work from home in the future. And I believe that a lot of jobs will be done from home. There is no reason to call people to office, jamming public transport, putting them to inconvenience, traveling 1 hour one way, uh, when they can be as productive or even more productive from home. Discipline, I think, is very important. Uh, I haven't worked from home for such time. I always used to work from home for a few hours, sometimes a day. Uh, but discipline is very important. So you need to mentally orient yourself that, okay, this is my work schedule. Uh, and you basically have to think that you're in office. So that's one. Secondly, I think uh, working from home, you need proper space and proper infrastructure to work from home. You can't be just working from anywhere. So you need to have a proper working infrastructure, desk, quiet place, no disturbance, kind of as much as possible. I think the other piece would be, to make yourself more efficient to work from home is how do you collaborate virtually, uh, you know, get trained virtually, how do you use virtual tools to get trained, etc. That's going to be very important in the new normal. Uh, Employees will be expected to have a far more sense of ownership. So uh, you will have to be self-managed to a great degree. Your manager will be there, but he'll be a virtual person in case of work from home. So you have to self-manage uh, a lot more than what you would be in office. So that's what it will be. I don't think so. Anyone's figured out how it's going to pan out after December of this year. But yeah, some amount of work from home definitely will be there, and let's see how this pandemic goes. The numbers are rising every day. I don't think so. That's my view. I'm not an expert, and I don't have a clear-cut answer on this, but I don't think it's going to impact levels of pay. I think it's more about numbers. How many people, for example, if a bank comes to your campus every year, hires 50 people, whether it will hire 50 people or it will hire 20 people. That's the question. I don't think so. They'll change.
Yes, sir. How has the investment pattern of people changed during the COVID pandemic?
Investment pattern of people.
Yes, sir.
I think people have become more cautious before spending.
Yes.
So most people, I would say, I believe, have kept their discretionary spends And anyway, there was no way to spend money also, right?
Yes, sir.
If I wanted to go and eat out, there was no place to go and eat, right? But I think depending on how the recovery is and the recovery is slow, people will become more cautious while before spending money. Okay?
Correct.
You will obviously necessities of life, etc.
Yes.
Will be there. People will try and save more. I believe that's a natural reaction to such a event
Yes.
by humankind, right? Even after 2008, you saw people being more cautious, spending. But when things start getting back to normal, it will be,
Mm.
it will be back to normal. But it might take some time. For example, if I was planning to buy a car, if I have a car, I wanted to change it in September, was my plan to change. I might defer it by some time to see, okay, let things come back to
Yes,
normal.
sir.
I don't want to buy a car right now. Uh, it will be similar in most of the sectors where it is discretionary. If I want to take a holiday, I might defer it by a few months. Now because of pandemic also, but other reasons also. If I have something essential to do, if my mobile phone breaks, I have to buy it, I'll go and buy it.
Yes.
If my TV is ponged off, I'll buy it. Uh, some of these things will, you know, luxuries. For example, I was reading somewhere that when these super luxury stores opened in Italy back after the pandemic, there was like a huge rush to buy on the first day, second day, third day. And that can also happen because people have been shut in their houses for so long, and people might behave that, I just want to go and feel good about something in life. And I just want to go and buy something. I also, for example, have the urge to buy something really very quickly. And I've been thinking the problem is how to get delivery inside my complex because they're not allowing any deliveries. But there is sometimes some people might have the urge to just go and feel good. But in general, people will be caution, will have caution before spending. So consumer spending might be muted for some time. Discretionary spend, people will think twice before doing. Uh, and that's why the growth, the recovery might be slower because the demand might not come back as fast as you know it might not come back very fast, and that's going to actually be the biggest. I think that's the variable that we have to see as to how quickly the demand comes up. And your question was on investments, and so
Yes,
anything that
practice.
you
Yeah.
save, you invest. So a lot of people are wary of the stock market right now, I guess, uh, because stocks have fallen. So people are investing more in uh, people are investing more in maybe safer instruments, debt-based, fixed deposit, whatever. But once the market start going up, people want to earn money, so people will start investing. And a lot of people right now also they think that there is value in the market at these low levels, so they are investing. But yeah,
Yes.
so that's how it is. These are my personal views. I'm not an expert in financial uh, investments and stuff, but what I hear from my friends in mutual fund industry or brokerages,